Are you single and feeling out of the loop? Put away that mouse and get out of the house. Join In the Loop, Seattle's brand new activities club just for singles. Go to intheloopsingles.com today.
Moving 92.5. Brooke and Jubal's second date update.
The guy on the phone for a second date update today met a girl exactly how I do if I ever hit on a girl at a coffee shop.
Okay.
He was there.
Yeah.
He grabbed an empty coffee cup.
Yeah.
Cut a hole in the bottom of it, placed it appropriately, and then looked at her and went, "Hey, you want to try some of this coffee? It's non-fat."
That cannot be true.
Well, that's what I'm hoping he did.
No.
His email said that he met her at Starbucks, and that's just where my mind went.
The old
I'm
coffee
assuming-
cup trick.
Yeah.
Good old,
Girls love it when you do that. Cody, how you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you guys doing?
Good. Please tell me that's how you met this girl at Starbucks.
You know, I've never even thought of that, but you know, next time maybe I'll consider it.
Never fails. Never fails. Your email said that you met the girl you want to call today at Starbucks. So how did you do it if you didn't do the obvious thing and place yourself in a coffee cup?
Well, yeah. Well, you know, we were just standing next to each other in line, and when we went to go try to find a place to sit, we realized that there was no two tables for each of us to sit at. So there was one, and so we just kind of decided to share a table.
You were so excited when you looked around that coffee shop and saw that.
Well, I mean, I kind of saw it as a little bit of an opportunity. I mean, she was really cute.
Yeah.
So you invited her to sit at the table with you since there was nowhere else for her to sit.
Yeah, you know, I thought it'd be a nice thing to do.
Okay, pretty boring compared to what my idea. But everybody's got to make their own way in life, you know what I mean? So how did that go? You sat down and shared the table. Did you guys have great conversation or something? You're like, I know I want to ask her out.
Well, I mean, it got kind of awkward at first because she pulled out her phone immediately and started, going through emails and or texting.
That's disappointing.
Yeah.
Did
Hey,
she?
want to share this table? Sure, I do. And then she just gets on her phone and ignores you the whole time.
Yeah, it kind of started out that way.
Do you think that she knew that you were interested immediately, or do you think that she just honestly had? I don't know. Did she honestly have work to do?
She may have just been trying to make me, work for it. So I just was trying to open up a conversation, to, not bother her or seem like I was getting in her way.
Yeah, next time that happens, the best way to do it is start reading over her shoulder what she's reading. She'll eventually put her phone down. Trust me.
You know all the tricks.
Yes, I
coffee
do.
shops.
I do.
Man.
So how did you end up finally engaging her in conversation if she was preoccupied with her phone? Smack it out of her hand?
Well, I don't know. I kind of made her laugh a little bit, and so she eventually kind of just put her phone down. It must not have been too important.
So your email says that, obviously you guys ended up going out on a date, or unless this was what you're considering your first date.
No, this was the free date, I guess you could say.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
So what did you actually do on your date then?
Well, I wanted to do something a little different instead of just going to a bar. I thought it'd be fun to go, do a little driving tour around the city because there's, a lot of really great views.
Okay.
That's kind of weird. I mean, like you're going to make out points all over the place, or
I don't think makeout points have existed since the 50s.
Well, that's-
So I'm assuming that they probably weren't going there.
that's what it would feel like to me.
No, I just, wanted to go take her on to see some of the nice views, and it seemed like she would be into it.
And there wasn't like any food or any sort of restaurant or.
Well, I put most of my planning into the actual driving around. I had a little map that I could kind of follow, so I may have kind of not planned for food as much, but I did offer to go stop and get a snack or something.
Well, that's good.
All right. And were you actually using a map, like a legit map?
Yeah, like Google Maps is what
See,
you do.
now you're making fun of my nephew.
This whole second date update is now throwback. There's makeout points, there's maps.
They're
And
in an old school convertible.
yeah.
No, yeah, I just had it on my phone.
Okay. All right. I'm picturing you driving around with this huge map over the steering wheel. Well, how did that go then?
We drove around, and at the end of the night, we just got to see this beautiful sunset.
Oh, come on. That was
Right.
your moment. That was the moment you went in for a kiss, right?
Well, no. I was debating whether I should do it because it seemed like, that was kind of the moment, but then it was just kind of...
That is the
It didn't
worst.
seem like the right time.
That's the worst feeling ever
Yeah, dude.
when you're out with a girl and you're like, now's the moment where I have to kiss her. And then for some reason you don't do it. And then you drop her off, and the rest of the drive home you're like,
I
why?
hate myself.
God, you're so stupid. All the signs were there. Sunset, everything.
So right.
Is that how you felt?
Pretty much, yeah.
And then if this girl likes you, I'm sure she's thinking, why didn't he do it? Like, you're an idiot.
Mm-hmm.
What did you say when you left her?
I said, so maybe we can do it again sometime, and then she gave me a hug.
Okay.
Ooh.
So you guys hugged. So
Not terrible. But
you're thinking that maybe you didn't make the move in the right amount of time, and now she's like, oh, maybe he isn't really that interested in me.
I mean, it's either that or she just thinks that I'm a total wimp and I just can't pull the trigger on it.
When you're watching a sunset, here's just some advice for the future. You kiss the person next to you. I don't care if you're at a lookout point by yourself and like there's an old lady standing next to you at a sunset. Sunsets are always an appropriate time to kiss. Okay? Even if you're standing there with your dad, it doesn't matter.
No, dude.
Ask Jubal's dad.
Sunsets are always kiss time.
Oh, my God.
And how many times have you tried to get a hold of her since your date?
2 or 3 times. She never answered. I left voicemails each time.
Here's the thing, though. I feel like even if you miss that moment of the kiss, if she really liked you, she'd get back to you.
Maybe because it wasn't a traditional type of date, she just wasn't into that, or that could have turned her off. I don't know.
All right. Well, we'll play a song, come back, call her, and get your second date update, okay?
All right. Thank you so much.
We'll do it right after this.
Moving 92.5. Brooke and Jubal in the mornings. Second date update.
Cody is on the phone with us. He wants to call a girl named Sydney. They went out for a wonderful date where he took her to see all the beautiful views around the city. They drove around and looked at all these viewpoints that he had found and eventually found himself at sunset with her.
Wow.
Turned to her. They locked eyes. And then Cody proceeded to grab his downstairs mix-up, tuck it inside of his body, cry, and run away like a little girl. He couldn't go through with the kiss.
Mean.
Isn't that right, Cody?
Those are your words, not mine.
But yeah, Cody feels like maybe he didn't make a move on her when he should have at sunset. And he felt the tension, but he didn't actually go through with the kiss. So he's wondering if maybe she thinks that he's just kind of a little wussy boy.
Would you guys just cut that out?
Poor Cody.
All right, I'll quit piling on,
Yeah,
Cody.
Jubal's always like that.
Cody,
Sorry, man.
you were getting some good signs before this, right?
I sure thought so. Felt good to me.
Okay, cool. Well, we're going to call her right now, see if we can get her on the phone and get your second date update. Ready to go?
I'm ready.
All
Let's
right.
do it.
Hello.
Hi, can I speak to Sydney, please?
Yeah, this is she.
Hey, Sydney, how are you? This is Jubal from Brooke and Jubal in the Morning.
Who?
Jubal from Brooke and Jubal in the Morning? Nothing?
I'm not familiar. I'm sorry. Why are you calling me?
Is this a Sydney that went out on a date with a guy named Cody a little while ago to look at views of the city?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Then you are the right Sydney. You're who I'm looking to get a hold of.
Why?
It's a great question,
Well,
Sydney.
we do a segment on our show called the Second Date Update. You went out on a date with Cody, and Cody emailed us to see if we could talk to you and find out why you're not answering any of his phone calls.
Okay. That's awkward.
Did you enjoy your date with Cody?
I mean, it was definitely kind of an odd first date. I would say that.
Driving around looking at views?
Yeah. So how much do you guys actually know about the date?
Well, we talked to Cody, and he basically just told us that. He wanted to do something different and maybe romantic, so he said that he planned out a bunch of different viewpoints you could go look at.
Well, yeah, I mean, it was definitely different.
And by the way, we're on your side with that. We think it's kind of like a strange date.
Yeah.
I would have gotten really bored by the I mean, you give me 2 viewpoints, maybe.
Yeah.
But more than that, I'm checked out.
Exactly. He really just wanted to look at a lot of bridges. It was all about the bridges. He was really into views. He kept saying views a lot. I don't know. He was just really excited by it. And at one point, we were driving on the freeway, and he pulls over on the freeway to say, "Oh my gosh, we just have to stop and look at this view."
So you're just on the side of the freeway with cars screaming by you at 70 miles an hour?
Yes.
When he told us about this, I pictured more of like a nature thing
Yeah,
where
me
it was
too.
like calm and
We're at
quiet.
a park. Like,
No, it was very urban.
Okay.
And then there were a couple times even where we would stop and he would have us hike under bridges to get a different view.
like you're homeless.
Like you're going under freeway overpasses? Like,
Yes. And he just said that that was another unique view for us to enjoy together.
weird.
The
Okay.
unique part was right.
He did tell us one
Yeah.
thing. He said that you guys eventually stumbled upon a sunset view, and he felt that there was a moment where you might have wanted a kiss, and he didn't go in for it. Was he
Well,
feeling the right vibe there, or was he? From talking to you, it sounds like you were not feeling like being kissed.
not by him.
Okay.
You do have to give him some credit. I mean, the guy put some effort into it.
Actually, I don't know, because in my mind, it kind of actually felt like this had the potential to be romantic, but what it sort of felt like more was just that he may have been too cheap to take me on an actual date.
That's kind
So he was
of.
trying to make
You know what?
more of these views than what was there.
When we talked to him, I didn't get the vibe like he was that scheming to be like, I'm going to take her to look at bridges and views because I want to save money. Maybe he's just got a weird thing with bridges.
Yeah.
It wasn't just bridges, though, because actually, at one point toward the end, he stopped by this house, and I was kind of weirded out, and I said, why are we at this random house? And he said, no, don't worry, I know the guy. And we went into the guy's backyard to look at yet another view, and so I was just standing in this stranger's backyard.
Is he like making it up as he goes along?
I
Like,
would have run if I were you at that point. Hey, we're going to go to this house. Don't worry. I know a guy. Don't ask questions.
Yeah, exactly. It was bizarre.
Okay. I'd love to find out if your theory is right, that he wanted to save money, so he took you on this view date. Wouldn't you at least like to know that?
Actually, I'm not concerned. I don't think I'm going to go on a second date, so.
Oh. Well, that's too bad because he's on the phone right now, and I wanted to ask him.
Yeah, hi, Sydney. It's so nice to hear your voice.
Gosh.
Cody?
Do you realize how much time I spent planning that date? I thought it'd be unique.
Well, it was
You can't
unique,
appreciate
but it was also
What I
weird.
did for you? Do you realize how much time I spent putting this date together? How many maps I consulted? I spent hours on the internet looking up places. I called people to plan this whole thing out. I spent so much time on that, and I cared about what happened, and you just blow this off?
Well, I mean, in your hours on the internet, did you not find normal restaurants to take someone to?
Did you not go to Yelp?
That's a good one.
Oh, yeah, I'm so sorry. I tried to do something original for sake instead of taking you to a bar or a stupid restaurant.
Just don't claim originality as cheap. It's obvious that you were just being cheap.
I am not cheap. I thought it would be fun.
Doesn't it sound weird when I say we went and looked at a dozen bridges? I mean, that's weird, right?
It wasn't just the bridge. It was the view off of the bridge. But if you look up from your phone, maybe you would have noticed.
Can we also mention maybe how awkward it was for me standing in some random dude's backyard? That's not a date.
Paul is not a random guy. He's a good friend of mine, and he's got a really good view from his backyard.
Wow.
Okay.
That is
Cindy, let me ask you a question. Why not just say, hey, let's go eat. Let's do something else. I don't really like doing this.
I don't know. It's the first date, and I don't know. I guess I'm a little old-fashioned. I just feel like the guy should kind of take charge of that, and if it goes poorly, then that's just a sign to me that there's not going to be a second date.
Oh, come
I have a perfect
on.
way to solve this.
No, Jubal, don't do it.
No, I'm going to do it. I have to do it. Sydney, would you like to go on a second date with Cody?
Oh, my gosh.
We will pay for you guys to go out again.
No.
All right.
Oh, surprise.
Threw me for a loop on that one. Well, Sydney, thank you very much for your time. Appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks for coming on with us. Check out the show sometime.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will.
All right, thank you. Well, there you go, Cody. She thought your date of taking her to look at views and bridges was boring.
I'm glad I know now, because if a girl, can't appreciate the view from a side of a bridge, then, she's just not for me.
All right, yeah.
We
That's
all
what I've
have
been
our
saying for
standards.
years. If a chick can't dig a view from a bridge, kick him to the curb.
Moving 92.5, 60 seconds lead.
I was obviously joking about the whole if a chick can't appreciate the view from a bridge.
He
But we're getting
wasn't.
so many text messages in at 78592. They're like, this chick is dumb. Bridges are legit. I'm a photographer. I would have loved this date. Who knew? So many people were into bridges. All right.